All right. Welcome everybody in Twitch chat, and maybe later on if you're seeing this on YouTube. Trying out not only an additional threat in Shadow today with 4 copies of Territorial Kavu in like our 4-color-ish list. I guess technically it's kind of 5-color because we do have the 1 copy of Endothed Triome to get the plain subtype for our Kavu. But we're also trying out a different camera angle. As you can see, the camera shifted a little bit. Either way, it's going to be interesting. We'll see if we like either one of these changes, but we can always change it back. But the idea with Kavu is just add to the threat consistency, add to the aggression, give us another ferocious enabler for stubborn denial, give us something that can loot away some dead cards in hand, interact with the grave on our opponent's side, because we do have decks like mURktide showing up a little bit more often nowadays, as well as living in, stuff like that. So we're going to see if Kavu kind of helps fill in that role. I've always liked Kavu. I think that it's like, in my opinion, the non-shadow threat that like most embodies what Shadow wants, which is a pretty cheap threat that you can play proactively. You don't have to have any sort of setup to get it onto the battlefield. It interacts in a way that not a lot of cards interact, letting you loot away dead stuff, exile pieces out of the graveyard that may or may not be important. And it's really good size and rate wise, like 2 mana for a potential 5/5. I have found a 4/4 Kavu to be very underwhelming a lot of the time, but 5/5 like overperforms. So it's this really weird thin line where Kavu needs a dedicated domain mana base, but obviously we want to be a little more aggressive than that with fetching and shocking. So trying to keep the come into play tap lands to an absolute minimum. We'll see if it affects anything. In the sideboard, couple copies of Curse Totem because Yawgmoth is everywhere. I'm expecting like Yawgmoth and Rhinos, mURktide, the new scam decks. So we'll see if we manage to hit any of those or all of those or what. Maybe we call it correctly. Maybe we don't see anything we were looking for. But I've hardly played it all in the last like few weeks, so this could be horrible. And for those of you who don't know, we did kind of announce it on Discord. I'm beginning to work on a video primer for Death Shadow. And it's going to be like, I can't decide how I'm going to break it down yet, if I want to do it as one composite YouTube video or if I want to put it into a few separate videos. But I've got an outline. Let me see if I've still got it over here somewhere. I got it in like a Word document, but I got a basic outline of what I'm looking for, including not only like a history kind of Shadow, but talking about different iterations, going through a bunch of card options and card choices, sideboarding, blah, 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 blah. So it's going to be a pretty extensive video or videos. There's our Kavus. One thing Kavu does not like is a 1-lander. So probably going to have to ship this back. Realistically, if this Kavu was like any other threat, we're probably shipping this back anyway. But them's the beats. Alright. Turn 1 rag, whole bunch of lands. We'll keep it. Feel a little underwhelmed about it, but we do have turn 1 Ragavan. think it'll be interesting to see how much you go for the double shock on turn 1, turn 2 for Death Shadow versus Triome into shock turn 1, turn 2 for the 5/5 Kavu. Yeah. Could be quite a lot, actually, that we end up just going for the Triome. I'll keep a Lightning Bolt. It's like not a dead card. I don't know what I'm up against yet, so anything that I can cast is probably better than a random redraw. If opponent puts like a blocker out on the board, at least we have a way to interact with that. Canyon, getting a Steam Vents. mURktide. Okay, so what do we want for this Kavu? We're probably going to have to fetch up a tapped Triome on turn 3. That gives us green and white. So if we just get blue right here. Now we can't get just blue because we don't have a breeding pool in the deck. So we have to get Stomping Ground or an Overgrown Tomb. All right. Yeah, we should have taken a much closer look at the mana base. We need a breeding pool in here. I didn't have the breeding pool from when I was heavy Kroxa. But without the Kroxas, need breeding pool. Another bolt. Hurts a lot. Slightly less. Shadow. They have like a 6/6 mURktide. Kind of suck. Yep. If they have bolt, and unholy heat, operation is fine. Don't unholy heat. Feel like they found it. Not. Nice. Got off the top. Pretty okay. So what happens if I just fetch or just attack, fetch, shock? I put them down to potentially 1. Kill off the channeler. Pass back. Now they know that I've got a bolt. It's rough for me if they have a mURktide. Like a mURktide. Seven. And a Ragavan. Okay. Should I draw before I make any decisions? There's like no way that I can afford to trade off Shadow plus double bolt for their board, right? While they have 3 cards in hand. I can't bolt myself staring down a mURktide. What to do. I'm just tap land, add Gigantha, pass. Hope that they attack me with mURktide, don't have a 3rd bolt, and I can like clear up the Ragavan after that. Maybe get through a lethal attack. I'm gonna just say, like, you got 3rd bolt, you got 3rd bolt. Okay. So they're dead now. They played their land, tapped out. Got him. Woo. Alright. mURktide. Terminate. Coming in. Stern Scolding. I do kind of like Terra Sunder. Hits Blood Moon. Hits, what's it called? Unlicensed Hearse. You can kick it and take out a mURktide. Pretty fun. I'm on the draw. Thoughtseize is pretty rough. I want to make them show me Dress Down before I get too high on the Kavu train. Which I feel like mURktide has got to be running some number of dress down right now with Yawgmoth as popular as it is. Yeah, like first list I pulled up is a couple dress downs. Ragavan's a little weaker on the draw. Veil of Summer is an option, but it's like only good against the counter spells. Doesn't do anything against the heats, like the real problem. So rather look towards like Fluster and Spell Pierce. I could take out another Ragavan. Harris under. That. Paid actor confirmed. Hashtag getting those free dubs. This first list has got 3 Magus of the Moon in the board. Kentucky Fried Chicken Wraps. Magus in the board. Old. I also need to, alright, good hand. I need to do a better job of paying attention to my fetch and shock sequence. I need to be getting Steam Vent's Overgrown Tomb more often if I can afford to. Because that'll let me get down to 4/4 Kavu. Last game I got down, or I played Blood Crypt on turn 1. So my shocks could be okay. I just need to sequence better. I'm pretty tempted to just throw back the Bauble. Because, like, I've got my mana covered with the 3 fetches. Keep the Bolt for interaction. Or I could throw back in Dotha Triome and, like, maybe fetch it out turn 1 if they don't do anything. Yeah, I guess we can do that. Still get down to 4/4 Kavu on turn, even or on turn 2, even if they do something. Dargon's Ridge. Alright, so that's got to mean that they kept a 1-lander. If you're throwing away an expressive iteration on turn 1. That screams 1-lander to me. This is something that I want. Shadow. I get Steam Vent's Overgrown Tomb. I'll keep a Shadow. I don't really see a big reason to bolt on their upkeep. Because, like, if they spend a counter spell on a lightning bolt here, I'm pretty happy with that. That means they're not counterspelling my Kavu. Take 1. Turn on their light up the stage. I kind of feel like they might have a dress down here. Nothing. What they have. You have in hand that would cause you to have nothing there. Like if they had a Pierce, they would have gone for the end of turn Pierce on the Bolt. No spell snare, no counter spell. Or mURktides. It's got to be another mURktide in hand. If they're exiling a mURktide. So I think I'm going to throw away the Shadow. mURktide's currently a 4/4. So let's pass. If they don't do anything, if they go for like an end of turn consider, I can Bowmaster. Just a spell to grow mURktide. Yeah, it's kind of why I didn't want to exile a card. I didn't really want to exile a card with Kavu, because if they just like throw a couple cards out there, then it kind of negates all that. Really not have a mURktide. Sure they did. What is in your hand? Dogfish, what's up? I have no idea what's in their hand. Been super dead. Real bad stomach virus just decimated the dog family. Ugh. Sorry to hear that. Sandbagging a bunch of threats, but not playing them. Okay. That gives me a white source for Kavu. I can attack, exile a Bauble, take him off Delirium. Exile Mishra's Bauble out of your yard. Do I want to keep the Bowmaster alive? Deal the damage. I guess they could have a bolt. Like another bolt. Never mind. That would have made sense to just like fire one off if they had another one. Flag. Flag. Cntrlfreak stream in this economy. We're out here just trying to chase a dollar. Nice little 1-0 start. Even if we fetched very, very poorly that first game. Not going to talk about it. No mistakes were made, except for the mistakes that were made. All right. Round number 2. Win another die roll. Love to see that. Not the most exciting hands in the world so far. Four Ragavan, 4 Kavu, 4 Goyf. What are we throwing back? This Catacombs is going to have to either get Stomping Ground or Blood Crypt. I kind of want to get Stomping. No. I need to get Blood Crypt, so if I draw into like a Kavu. I think Kavu would still only be a... What if I get Stomping Ground and I throw back Shadow? Means I'd have to get a Watery Grave. I can't play Kavu off that. Maybe it'll be okay. Definitely do need the breeding pool though. Without the Croxes, it makes like no sense to not have a breeding pool. Subtle to me. So Rhinos. Oh, we'll put Ragavan on the bottom. Turn 2 Ragavan's not doing a ton for me. Not Rhinos. Blue-black control. Black control. Steven coming in with the 25-month Prime resub. Azorius Shadow win. You can't play even Manamorphose in Azorius Shadow. Welcome back to the subscribers. Like, that's kind of harsh if you can't even play Manamorphose. What about, like, Azorius with 1 Esper Triome? That cool. One lander, we don't see a second. We know they've got a Bowmaster. We'll just go to game 2. Or Esper Charm. What about Orzhov Charm? We just do like Esper Charm Shadow. Like 4 Esper Charm, 4 Orzhov Charm, 4... Trying to think of what Azorius Charm does. Isn't Azorius Charm like put an attacking creature on top of its owner's library? Counter something. see. Creatures you control gain lifelink. Heck yeah. Draw a card or put target attacking or blocking creature on top of its owner's life. Had one of them. I mean, it's kind of great that you can say that wouldn't even be the first time that we gave a shadow lifelink. All right, I'm up against One Ring shenanigans. Heat's like a little bit better than Bolt because Heat can kill Shieldred. That. So 4 of in blue-white control Pioneer when the format first started. I believe that. I don't think I've ever... Yeah, I don't think I've ever played Azorius Charm in Constructed. I've played Esper Charm, played Jeskai Charm, played Dimir Charm. Don't think I've ever played Azorius Charm. Blunder on the record. Playing Pioneer when it was first, the format was such an exciting time. Yeah, it was. Like, I had a lot of fun testing for the first Pioneer Invitational. Even though we did catch like a couple bannings in the middle of the testing process, but still fun. Yep. Pioneer Invitational, once upon a time, the tournament. Dude, it was hilarious. Like, right at the height of this blue-green, like, Oko Eldrazi build with, like, all the mana dorks. And just listening to an entire room full of people go... once upon a time, all in unison. All right, what am I taking? mURktide could be problematic, so I kind of want to take that. Bowmaster, your Bowmaster, so your Bowmaster, their Bowmaster, and everybody's Bowmaster gets a Bowmaster. I could take Shieldred's Edict. Not the worst. I think I just have to take this mURktide. I have like no good way of dealing with that right at the moment. I haven't seen a lot of blue-black control recently. I say that like I've been playing religiously. We're going to bobble ourselves. See if we can bait out their Bowmaster. I assume we will. If there's one thing you can count on with Orcish Bowmasters players, is that it's that they are not going to turn down the opportunity for value. As one turns down the opportunity for value. I got nothing. They're waiting for me to bowmaster so they can bowmaster my bowmaster. So I could go ahead and play out Shadow into this Edict. That seems less than ideal, though. Also, like, kind of playing into time or Tidebinder. Are we not? Little surprised they're not, like, using the ring right away. Does Edict target? No. Not. So it does get around Veil of Summer. That out of here. All right, what you got? Second copy of the One Ring. Mr. T coming in with a 17-month resub. Happy New Year to my favorite streamer. Just have a short look today. Have to work through the night. I'm sorry that you have to work through the night. But as always, thank you so much for the turning subscription. Enjoy continued access to all of our sweet custom Death Shadow emotes. Thank you so much. One Ring number 2. Numero dos, as the kids say. One Ring once more for a second time. Play. Land has been hit. Preordain. Sure. One top, one bottom off preordain. What I need to do, try to get a big attack here. So I let the Bowmaster resolve. Target me. Cast my Bowmaster. Yeah. Let the Bowmaster resolve. Target me. Cast my Bowmaster. Ping their Bowmaster. And then Veil of Summer the trigger. Cast my Bowmaster. And in a perfect world, if they go for like Edict or Counterspell or something that I can Flusterstorm, I'll get to ping off their Bowmaster, Veil of Summer their trigger so they don't get a blocker. They just have another modern. All right, what's my plan here? I can Veil of Summer right now. I draw one. Bowmaster triggers, targets himself. I think I have to. Was a nasty turn. So they have to ping themselves here, but they do get a token for this. What I was hoping to do was avoid them getting any tokens by having my Bowmaster come in, ping their Bowmaster. They go for like Edict or something. I Flusterstorm the Edict, and then Veil of Summer, the Bowmaster trigger targeting me before it resolves, but after their Bowmaster's left. So they don't get the token. They don't get any blockers. And I just attack in for lethal. As much as I love this music, I'm worried that it's going to get copyright struck. That is the way of YouTube. Blocking with the actual Bowmaster. Oh, your big brain lines are no match for the Moto Shuffler. Truth. Like tank. Oh, opponent just had second copy of Bowmaster. Never mind. All out the window. And I kind of feel like they have a third copy of Bowmasters, judging by the fact that they're not like... They're letting their Bowmaster die, keeping the army token. So they might just ping this Bowmaster off. Get some PBB beats. Is all your stuff copyright free? Or children, I guess. Too. see. Nope, it's not copyright free, or nope, it's not copyrighted. I chopped it up, it's fine. And then autoplay. Play. Okay, so we're gonna attack in with Goyf and Shadow. Calls America. Best case scenario would be opponent says, well, I'm gonna draw a card before anything. And the Shieldred block. Love to see that. Alright, so Shieldred's gonna gain him 6. Gonna take 3. Shadow and the Shieldred trade off. Think they're packing Damnation? No, absolutely. Decks like always play Damnation. I don't think I can really afford to play around it. Like, I could just play out one Goyf, call it a day. I think if they go for an Edict into turn here, or like an Edict right now, then yeah, or Counterspell, then I play out my other threat. But I think if they didn't do anything, I'd probably just pass the turn. Yeah, these decks like always play Damnation. Whether they see it or not's a different question. They're also like low enough to where, so one top, one bottom, low enough to where like if they do Damnation, they run the risk of like dying to their own ring. Bowmaster down my Bowmaster, yep. And if they have another Shieldred, They played land for turn, so if they cast a Damnation right now, I could be okay. Like Shieldred's Edict, hold priority, second Shieldred's Edict. All right, draw. I always hate these matches because it just feels like it comes down to who drew more copies of Bowmaster. Shieldred's Edict. So if I start with Blusterstorm. Pablo coming in with a 2-month resub. Thank you so much. Ayo. Welcome back to the subscribers. Enjoy continued access to all of our sweet custom Death Shadow emotes. Thank you so much. Can't do anything if they have 4th copy of Bowmaster. Probably just like counterspell. Go for stuff. See what happens. Counter spell. Counter target spell. Storm. Put 1 on the edict, because why not? All right. Now you've got 2 lethal attackers that you have to chump. Work army token that puts you down to 1. And a 1-ring trigger that is lethal on your upkeep. I assume this deck has like some way of bouncing the 1 ring at instant speed, and they get to see 11 new cards if they want it. Because that's perfectly fine and healthy. Imagine drawing 11 on your upkeep. Yep. They've already gone through 3 Bowmasters, so they can't draw into double Bowmaster. Yay! We win with our opponent having 16 cards in hand on their upkeep. Wow, the miss. I don't know what they could have hit. Like, if they hadn't have already played 3 copies of Bowmasters, and I could see them maybe hitting double Bowmaster for the lethal, but out those isn't out. Brazen Borrower to buy time. No, I think Brazen Borrower only bounces something your opponent controls, right? No. You can petty theft your own stuff. No, it is an opponent controls. Return target non-land permanent and opponent controls to its owner's hand. So yeah. No Brazen Borrower. I really don't want to board in Terminate, but I feel like I don't have better options. Definitely not boarding in Stern Scolding just for Bowmaster. Pretty sure they had no outs. I didn't think they did as soon as they like played out the third copy of Bowmasters, but you never know. I've had more games than I can count of losing to random cards I've never heard of because I didn't play around them. It's kind of a specialty of mine, if we're being honest. Let's see. Shackle. Yeah, if we're going off a list similar, or they could have, no, Tidebinder's an opponent as well, right? No, it's not. So they could have found a Tidebinder and Tidebinder their own ring trigger. They would have been like dead the next turn, but you know. Yeah, we'll keep this. Could have been looking for Blood Pact. Well, obviously, Blood Pact. I know Blood Pact. For everybody else, our player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Technically, I was drawing 16 wasn't enough for you. You need more. Found and determined to have spell. Oh, the 2 life would have killed me. You right. That would have been an out. Totally believable and realistic card to draw 2. The old fetch up basic island and pass, eh? Really hoping that was one more land. Kind of hoping they had a shadow of doubt. Orcish Bowmasters. They do have Tidebinder. I can just take that and then like never counter anything. Hope he had plenty of outs. Technically. Oh, they could have what's it called? Oh my god, how many times have we joked about the stupid card? 2 in a blue, 4 to you, 2 to me. Why am I blanking on the name? How many times have we joked about this card? Yes, Psionic Blast. It could have Psionic Blasted me. Tarmogoyf. Well, a draw is better than a loss, right? Playing for percentage points here. Tribal Terra Sunders. Really aggressive block. Play out the Shadow, hold up, terminate in case they found like a Shieldred, mURktide. Kind of looks like they're flooding a tad. It's obviously good for me, but like to take 11. Ark, what's up? I don't actually think I'm going to play out this other Tarmogoyf. I think I'm going to hang around. Donna's Tidebinder. Resolve. Attack me, then I'm presenting lethal. One of their cards in hands is Stern Scolding, which is doing jack squat. The other card had better be better than a Stern Scolding. That's better than a Stern Scolding. So, you out of here. Boink. Terminate. Just hold up Stubborn Denial for whatever we can possibly Stubborn Denial off the top. Damnation, One Ring, anything else. If they play out a creature, they die. Yeah. Love to see it. All right. Gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Then we'll be right back for round number 3. Enjoy the chair in the meantime. All right. Hopefully you enjoy the stylish composings of chair. Oh, we're off to a nice 2-0 start, which obviously means the deck is broken and the best shadow variant, and you should all sell all of your belongings and buy into 4-color Kavu shadow. I don't think I can be any more explicit than that. Please don't actually do that. That's not real advice. Do not recommend it. This is not a paid advertising by Territorial Kavu. Anyway, in all the non-zoo players trade binder. I feel like I actually own a couple copies of Kavu. I want to say I saw him a while back when I was like flipping through some random stuff. Earl. Tunneling cat. Could be Yawgmoth. Probably Yawgmoth. Right. Turn 1 Yawgmoth is nice. Play out. Guess I'll just plan on getting a tapped Triome. Exciting as that sounds. I assume by the ominous second land pass that this is a Bowmasters. Oh my god, how does he do it? Don't them untap and grist. Not a grist. All uphill for us now. Second Bowmaster. I just don't know why you kept this hand. You out. Roif. Another tapped land. Say go. Well, they do only have one black source. They could have Yawgmoth like stuck in hand. Feels relatively unlikely. They cannot currently cord for Yawgmoth, so that's kind of cool. That's what we'll do is play out the Gigantha And I think if they do nothing, I'm going to bolt the Bowmaster on their upkeep. Takenuma gets back Grist. They Grist. All right. Let's attack at Grist. If I attack at them, they're just going to ignore it. Bowmaster off the board. What they're drawing into. Evolution. Grist. Go. Draw. Stop it. Evolution away an army for a 2-drop, but the Vizier, Apatra is in the yard. Could just go get another Bowmaster, I guess. But, the most exciting play in the world. Here's a Shadow. Shadow once more. All I got. Build a Goose. So you can evolution the Goose into another Grist. What are the odds that the last card is a Yawgmoth? Another Bowmaster. Cntrlhaven. Seven creatures in the yard currently for Grist, so not dead to a Grist ult.
Fine.
Can't Thoughtseize because then I am dead to Gristle. Try to keep pressure on them. Found a cord. Yep. Yeah, I just need to find another piece of interaction. Back in, Gristle. His bobbles down the stretch hurt. Turn Scoldings. Terminate. Totems. A Rag definitely coming out. Another matchup I would like to see Kavu. I think I want Thoughtseize more. EE I do feels quite a bit like overrated in the matchup. It's fine, but like now that the One Ring is a thing and Shieldred, Elven Chorus, Agatha's Soul Cauldron, a little less exciting. A lot of less exciting. But this is also a matchup that if I were going to play in a challenge, I would be teching like heavily for right now. All right. So if I needed to get a stomping ground to bolt, I could, or like Blood Crypt, whatever. Since they're getting Yawgmoth, get Endotha Triumph, so we can untap, play Kavu out. Atra. Hardly know her. card. Shadow. Joy of just not hitting that land. So what am I doing here? I can make the attack. Try to draw into a land, like ditch the Tarmogoyf. Try to draw into a land. If I do, what I'm doing if I do. I know they're going to get the block. I'm just going to have to plan to, like, bolt off the Grist next turn or something. Yawgmoth. Got the cord. Well, technically a land. Probably the worst one in the deck right now. Doesn't let me double spell with, like, anything. All right. Nope. Nope. Lands. Land issues. Honestly, surprised it took us a whole 3 matches to, like, really hit a downside on the lands. Round number 4. Good. It seems like all the threats have been clumped together. Like, we'll have an opening hand with, like, 4 Kavus and a Shadow, or an opening hand with nothing. Like, we really can't keep hands that don't have some sort of a threat. See what they do before I decide on the bauble, because I don't want to like crack on their upkeep and then have them just like play out a Bowmaster while I'm untapped and I can't do anything. All right, so we know they've got a Ragavan off the top. Gonna play the Ragavan. All these. See if we would like to fetch. Swamp. Master down the Ragavan. Now the question is, can we find interaction before we die to double Dolphy? Inti. Sure. Up the clock a little bit. Doesn't die to their Bowmaster. Have like a hard cast grief. Dolphy. Was their last card. Alright. I kind of figured it was a Bowmaster. But so if I go Bowmaster, you're Bowmaster. Attack first. Counter on army token. Not a bolt or a heat. For damage, we'll Bowmaster ping their Bowmaster. Point in off our token. The Ragavan Play a tapped over on tomb. Say go. Back all out. They can put us down to 1. Got access to a bunch of lands, a bauble, and a bowmaster. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're currently dead if they attack all out and drew nothing. Got 8 power showing, plus the NT trigger gives us 1 more. Drew dead. They have to sack off a Dothy. Like what they're doing. I don't know why I was like really hoping that they drew a lightning bolt and they were gonna like bowmaster ping me and then bolt me. Ditch the polluted delta. Cracking that. Counter on army token in or fetch land. Get him for 5. Wife. Might as well play out the land. Snap going to attacks. Love to see it. It might have honestly been worth it for them to consider like the double bowmaster play. Like, if they drew dead, there's nothing else they can do. But if they drew something like a piece of interaction, a removal spell, maybe that was worth it. Obviously, I don't know for sure because I can't know what they drew, but I think that they're a Blood Moon deck. They probably are. Kind of assume everybody nowadays is a Blood Moon deck. Oh, you're playing Modern? You must be playing Blood Moon. Haha. Live in an exciting world where even to be fair, you got to be unfair. Not that unfair. Pretty bad as well. They mulliganed to 6. They kept 6 though. swamp. Gotta keep the swamp, because at least if I draw, or at least I can play out the Tarmogoyf on 2 regardless. No turn 1 play from them is nice. Very considerate of them. The Void Walker.
Old Spice shampoo smells great and helps keep your hair thick and healthy.
Here. Okay, Catacombs is decent. I could get Watery Grave. Go ahead and play out the Kavu. Don't mind that. No, I can't play the Kavu off the Watery Grave. Ah! Alright, that's fine. I got a term. Hmm. Attack me. Kill the Tarmogoyf, attack me. I do get closer to Shadow. Don't kill the Tarmogoyf. Like, best case scenario would probably be... I guess not now. I was going to say something like, kill the Goyf, attack me. Don't play a follow-up land or anything. And then I find a land to get to play Shadow plus Kavu. Them shocking in Blood Crypt makes me think that they have a Bowmaster in hand. They're choosing not to discard, so I'm just going to take this. That feels very lightning bolty. Feeling like Lightning Bolt, Bowmaster. What else would you not discard? Again, no discard. If they want to play a Bowmaster and ping down the army token, that's fine. I'm not going to let them ping away my Bowmaster. Okay. I'm not going to flash in the Bowmaster yet. I'll let them go to their main phase, decide on Fable. If they like discard one card to try to save the Shaman from the Bowmaster. Alright. I was going to say, if they discarded one card to try to save the Shaman from the Bowmaster, then I could like let them discard, get the Bowmaster trigger, and then flash in the Bowmaster to ping it off. Off the Shaman. Blood Moon. Okay. Fare particularly well for Kavu. Daunted. Could make it 2/2 Kavu. Play our cards right. Only one basic swamp. They can't hard cast a Grief. If they're even running Grief. I don't even know if they are, honestly. Seems like Rakdos aggro. I can cast Kavu with Giganta, but like Kavu's only going to be a 2/2. Is that worth it over just attacking with the Giganta? Feel like I'd rather just try to get them like unalive. It's an undying effect. Like, even if I don't cast the Kavu, if they deal any damage to me, then I just have Shadow to cast. Yeah, it is still possible. But the Kavu would only be a 2/2. So. Nice. Oh. I'm supposed to start doing predictions for 4/1s. Apparently people want those. Unpredict. We'll just do a quick prediction on that. I think it should be up. Didn't. Our prediction. Mission period. Start. Okay. Now it's up. We lost against Yawgmoth. Game 1, we were both doing a whole lot of nothing. And we just had to fight through like too many grists. Game 2, our mana gave us some issues. And we couldn't pull back from there. I kind of ported over the mana from my version that I've been running Kroxa and Fable of the Mirror Breaker in. And that was a pretty big mistake. Like, I needed to fix the mana a little bit better. But we beat Blue-Black Control, RB Aggro, and what was the last one? Oh, mURktide. Blue-Red mURktide, round 1. All in on 4-1. Don't let me down. You're putting a lot of pressure on me there. I will do my absolute best. But I make no guarantees. Go ahead and start. Some people play better under pressure. I don't think I really have like a difference in my play depending on the pressure. But I would say there's probably some moments where I do want like a little bit of pressure. If you have no pressure, then I feel like you gloss over a lot of decisions. But there's like a healthy amount of pressure. Or just makes you stop and look a little bit more and focus a bit. I wonder. $38. All right. Pretty decent shadow hand. And go like turn 1, Fetch Shock, Thoughtseize. Turn 2, Fetch Shock, Double Shadow, potentially. Depends what we're up against. Amulet, Titan. Now we're definitely double shadowing on 2. West. They're drawing into a Boseiju. Go. I'd rather Would I rather Thoughtseize or would I rather Bowmaster myself? Like, the Thoughtseize doesn't really matter. It would have been probably more mana efficient to just Bowmaster myself. See if they've gotten a Azusa. I'm gonna say a fetch land would do it. I'm not gonna Bowmaster ping myself on my turn here, because then my opponent's like forced into going for something if they have it. If I just wait, then I can see what they do. Maybe they don't go for it. Yeah. Here we have Bowmaster, ping myself. Like, obviously, if they didn't draw anything that kills me, it doesn't really matter. But if they did, maybe they don't go for it if it's like high risk, high reward. What I mean? Alpine Moons, we got Paris Sunders. Holdings okay. Subs pretty bad. Pretty meh. Definitely like Ragavan a lot less on the draw as well. But I think I'll keep in like 2 stub. Board out a Heat, board out a Ragavan. Like, Ragavan on the draw into Arboreal Grazer feels so awful. Turn 1, Watery Grave, Thoughtseize. Turn 2, Stomping Ground, Kavu. Hard to throw that back. Grazer. That'll give us a white source. We're not getting Watery Grave. Watery Grave doesn't let us play Kavu. So we get Overgrown Tomb here. Steam Vents on 2. Kavu. Right, 1. We hope that they draw dead on this draw step. Nothing good right here. Give us a turn off. No ring. Draw a Titan because we can Thoughtseize next turn. That could have been better, worse for us. I kind of want to just throw away the stern scolding because, like, it's not doing anything for me. Like, I don't really care if they have another arboreal grazer or like another, what's it called? Azusa effect. So this cannot get stomping ground. So if I want to thought seize, I would have to... If I want to thought seize, I have to get a black source off this polluted delta, which means that I'm not getting a white source for Kavu. Am I... I think I'm just Kavu, play out the polluted delta, pass, because I can get Blood Crypt or Watery Grave if I need to stub or like Unholy Heat a Titan, or I can just get a tapped Indotha Triome if they do nothing and have a 2-turn clock. Out the Titan. Going to let them get lands. Sure. Up the Titan. Blood Crypt. Heat. Mouse Titan. Exile stuff, right? I mean, I guess I could discard the bolt. But I don't really know what I'm drawing to. Nah, I want to keep the bolt to try to hit the Saga token next turn. So that they can't block. Good hit. All right. Rumbling Vestige Forest. We'll Stubborn Denial anything that I can Stubborn Denial. Sick Wolf Run. That's hot. It doesn't do it here, but that's hot. So they could make a token, paste it, but they couldn't activate Kessig on it. All right. Pretty fun little league there. I guess we got a payout prediction. Choose outcome, yeah. Savings are safe. Okay. What do we think about the deck? The mana was the biggest issue. Like, kind of figured going into it that was going to be the case, but Kavu really needs a breeding pool in the deck. And Triumph didn't really come up that much, but having the option was kind of nice. But for me, Kavu is okay. I still think as a 4/4, it's eh. As a 5/5, it's great, but the mana needs fixing to make it a 5/5 a little more reliably. And Triumph might not be the best option. But again, definitely need a breeding pool. Probably over like a Bloodstain Mire, a fetch that doesn't get breeding pool. But there were a lot of times that I wanted to have like Blood Crypt or something. Breeding pool would have been a really nice follow-up. Right now, you're kind of needing Steam Vents, Overgrown Tomb more often than anything. Overgrown Tomb, there's a little bit of an awkward land to tutor up when you only have Goyf and Kavu. Breeding pool at least opens up like Goyf, Kavu plus Stub. The rest of the deck. Ragavan, fine. Shadow, fine. Like, we lost a Yawgmoth. I don't think that opening up like the 4th, potentially 5th color gives you anything that makes you better against Yawgmoth. Kind of Curse Totem or bust. And honestly, I wouldn't hate the idea of just going into like 3 Curse Totems in the cyber. Like, I had an idea a while back. I was going to get ready for a challenge, and I think I was looking at 4 color or something for it. And my sideboard was like 3 Curse Totems, 3 EE, 3 Chalice of the Void. And it was just to have a bunch of really good like Haymaker options that didn't rely on specific mana, but were great against the Cascade decks and Yawgmoth, Hardened Scales. I think I might have even had Pithing Needle in that sideboard. Like, I'm just going to go all in on 8 pieces. Happen to be artifacts. Speaking of the sideboard, Terrace Under looked good. Veil was fine. Didn't see Cursed Totem against Yawg. Saw Stern Scolding, but the mana was awkward. Like, couldn't very effectively get blue with our hand, which I think the breeding pool would help out a bit. I don't know. It's a cool shell to start from. I don't think that the list is perfect by any means, but